DIGBALA. How strong is a planet in your chart? The difference between DIGBALA and exaltation. Hello everyone, welcome today to my video. Before we begin, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and please don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Your support is greatly appreciated, so let's begin today's video. DIGBALA and exaltation. Now, when we are looking at planets in our chart, we're looking at whether the planets are strong or whether they're weak. And what determines a strong planet and what determines a weak planet. So if a planet is in exaltation, in its own sign, retrograde, and DIGBALA, that will give your planets and those houses strength. Now, if you have a debilitated house or planet, then that gives weakness to your chart. Combustion, if you have like Sun, Venus, any planets which form a combustion in your chart will show weakness. Planetary war shows weakness. So we look at these things one at a time in your chart, each house, each sign, to see how they are performing. So DIGBALA, what does it mean? DIGBALA means direction. Dig actually means direction. And Bala means strength or power. So this is directional power. So directional strength of the planets. And they're only in the first, fourth, 7th, and 10 houses. So we're only looking at the inner 4 houses to see whether there is DIGBALA there. Now, the planets, they're in the right direction. So if the planets, you have the 4 directions here, if the planet is in its own direction, it's considered to have strength. Now again, dig meaning direction, and bala means strength. And now we're going to look at the chart to see. Now, when we're looking at the chart here, a chart is basically, if you fold it in half, the other side reflects your chart as far as lordship. And also, if you're looking at the chart, if you're looking at the day and the night, okay, so this part is the day section of your chart, and the lower portion is the night of your chart. So what we're looking at here is the sunrise is at the 0 point highest in the sky when you're born. And what we want to see is where the planets are placed directionally wise. They have to be in their own direction in order to get the strength that they require to perform and to create awareness so that you can fully function in those areas. So the energy of the planet. So for Mars and the Sun, that is a fire element, and they would go in the 10th house. Mars and Sun. And Moon and Venus are water elements, and Moon and Venus have DIGBALA in the 4th house. And Saturn is air, and that is in the 7th house. And in the 1st house, we have Mercury and we have Jupiter. Okay, so here, what we wanted to look at is, again, Jupiter's here, Mercury's here, Moon, Venus, Saturn, Mars, and the Sun. Okay, so these are really hot planets right here. Okay, these are watery planets. This is everything to do with your abilities, your anything to do with fire. Okay, so if you're considering the vastu of your chart, then this is the fire, this is the air, and this is the water. Um, and and they perform well when they're actually in their own direction. So this is the area of water in your chart. So if you have the water planets here, the signs of water here, they perform better in the water house. This is the fire house. And anything that has to do with heat and direct light, a lot of energy, your willpower, that is all here. And the 10th house is the house of careers. It's the house of your status and all the things you're trying to achieve in your life. 7th house is the house of marriage and partnership. The 4th house is your home, your mother, your happiness, your nourishment. And the 1st house is your constitution. Okay, so what we don't consider is Rahu and Ketu in this. Okay, so now what it gives you is directional awareness. Okay, so if your planet is strong, then you'll have a good sense of reality. You're not going to be living in some fantasy world. You know what's in front of you. You look at what's in front of you. You accept what's in front of you. And you look at your talents and your skills to deal with what's in front of you. You look at what's available as far as resources are concerned, and what help there is for you to go further, what supports are available, and you have appreciation for these resources. So you look at the reality for what it is, you look at what you can do with that reality, and you look at what help's available to you, and you also appreciate what there is for you. So you recognize your opportunities, therefore you make the most of your opportunities. So for instance, if you have Mars and Sun in the 10th house, that gives direction and awareness in your career. It helps you to recognize and utilize all your resources. Okay? And it can also make you, it can help you with your decision making skills. And you're not going to just make a decision and then decide later, I don't know. You'll actually stick with it. You'll make up your mind, you've decided, and you'll do it. And with these placements, with the DIGBALA, you get the help from the gods. So you're happy, they're happy, and you get great results. So, okay, so a strong, um, a strong house, if it has DIGBALA, if it has an exalted sign, then you're looking at strength in your chart. Okay, so what happens with the strength is basically giving you high awareness. And if you have weakness, if you have debilitation or any of these other things, then you're looking at your awareness being low. So it doesn't mean anything good is going to happen, anything bad is going to happen. It's just your awareness of what you can do with what's available for you is either very high or very low, which means if it's very low, you have to put a lot of effort into figuring things out, to making things work. It's just it's more difficult. It's not impossible. It's just more difficult. Whereas here, you have both eyes open and you're able to see things more clearly. Therefore, you can assess things more clearly and make better sense of what's in front of you. So the strengths, when something, when you have a planet, a sign which is exalted, that's basically a friendly sign. Okay, so it's in the same element. So again, we're looking at fire, water, and air. So if you have your house is in like the watery area of your chart, where is holding a watery sign, because it becomes comfortable there. So if you have, for instance, air sign in water, then do water and air mix, you know? Do like if you have fire and air, do they mix? And how do they mix and what are the results? So if you have fire and air, then you need the air and you need the fire. You need the air in order to ignite the fire. One is needed for the other. But if you're looking at fire and water, well, the fire will evaporate the water, and therefore, you know, you're left with little water and a lot of fire. So what results does that have in your chart and for that area? So which house it's in and how it relates and how you break down these elements. So these elements, are they working well together or are they fighting each other? Okay, so with DIGBALA, what happens is you're getting directional strength. So, and that is also by elements. It is also looking at air, water, and fire. You know, are the planets placed in their right element, or are they in an enemy element that they need to then figure out how to work in that area? So now, if you have the strengths there for you, or whether you have weaknesses, depending on DIGBALA or exaltation, that is the level of awareness you have for the situation and the surroundings. And if you have strength in your chart, then you'll see things will start to expand and you will start to thrive. If not, then it's not that you won't, it's just it's more of an effort. So an example of this is if you have like moon in the fourth in the sign of Cancer. So now moon is water and the fourth house is water. Cancer is water. So it's sitting in its own element. So it knows what to do with where it's sitting. It knows how to work in that environment, and it's happy, it's comfortable, and it lets its guard down and can do what it needs to do. So strengths. Now, if you have DIGBALA, but you have debilitation, then you'll get mixed results. You know, you can't. It won't be the same as having so many of the strengths together. You're having one element of weakness, but note that they don't cancel each other out. So you can't say DIGBALA. I have DIGBALA here in this house, but it's debilitated, so they kind of cancel each other out. So it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't work that way. So exaltation actually is high awareness of your situation, your talents, your skills, your resources. And if it's debilitated, you have a low awareness of your situation and what you can do with it. So therefore, you may not even be aware of what you can do. So therefore, you don't do what you can do. So the results, therefore, are not there. So example of that would be moon in the 10th. That's opposite from the DIGBALA. So we have the chart here. I will apologize for this chart being so badly drawn. So this is 1, 7, 10, and 4. Okay, houses. So the moon, this is the house of the moon. Now the moon, instead of being here, actually goes here. This is the opposite. Okay, this is the house of emotions. And here, the emotions kind of get confused. They get indecisive. And they kind of get, they're not in touch with their emotions here. So you see how it kind of works. You can see how it works when the placement is moved now. It's now uncomfortable. It now has to figure out a way to work. So here you'd have to figure out your emotions, whereas here you're quite comfortable with your emotions. So moon in the fourth debilitated. Now moon is all about your mother, happiness, home, comforts, nourishment, all the good things of life. And now if you have moon debilitated in the fourth, all the resources are there. But you have no appreciation, you have no awareness, and you don't fully utilize all your opportunities because you're not utilizing all your resources because you're not aware of it. So it's not that you don't have what you need, you're just not aware. You're not, the awareness is lacking, it's low. Okay, so that's all it basically means. It's not a bad thing, it's not something that you can't work around. The only thing you need to do with this is apply more efforts. Be more aware, like realize that this is where your chart is weak and look at it carefully and be honest with yourself with that area of your chart and work with what you have and do the best you can. So, special note, always look at your chart as a whole, not in parts. Don't make any conclusions on parts because that would be very foolish. You have no idea of how things relate to one another. All placements, aspects, yogas, the dashas, uh, whether planets are combusted, and all of those things play a part. So you cannot just look at one house, one sign, and then make conclusions. You need to look at the whole chart. It needs to be analyzed as a whole. You need to look at the whole picture, and then you need to, um, you know, just then that's when you can see whether how that chart reflects your life and what you can do with that chart. You can't look at your limitations just by one house. So all things must be considered. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please press the bell notification button. And that way you won't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you for your support. Until next time, bye.